Hello and welcome to Valuechain News. I am Naomi Oleribe. First, the headlines. Ajib gas pipeline vandalized again in Bayelsa. NNPC advocates for special courts to prosecute oil thieves, pipeline vandals. Nigeria loses 240,000 barrels per day daily to vandals and thieves, says Kyari. And now, the news in detail. A gas pipeline operated by Nigerian Ajib Oil Company (NAOC) has been vandalized and set ablaze again, barely 1 week after it was attacked by vandals. The news agency of Nigeria, NAN, has reported the breach of the pipeline cut the oil firm's gas export feed to the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas Gathering and Processing Plant. NAN reports that the vandalized point within Okaka and Azikoro in Yanogwa local government area of Bayelsa State was engulfed in flames on Wednesday. The Director General, National Oil Spills Detection and Response Agency, NOSTRA, Idris Musa, confirmed the incident on Thursday. The Spills Response Agency had on March 30th said that its investigations revealed a rising spate of sabotage-induced oil and gas leaks at oil fields in Bayelsa. Mr. Musa said 3 sabotage incidents has occurred on oil and gas facilities in Bayelsa within 1 week, advising operators to reinforce surveillance. The Nigerian Ajib Oil Company is working actively to depressurize the pipeline in order to effect repairs on it, he said. The Group Managing Director, Nigerian National Petroleum Company (NNPC) Limited, Malam Mele Kyari, has advocated for the setting up of special courts to try and prosecute crude oil thieves and pipeline vandals in a bid to restore sanity in Nigeria's oil industry. Kyari disclosed this on Thursday by briefing the House of Representatives on Nigeria's crude oil production situation. The alarming theft of Nigeria crude oil has affected Nigeria's ability to benefit in periods of high crude prices. Kyari said there is need for us to upgrade the advocacy by setting up special courts to address and prosecute crude oil thieves and pipeline vandals. The impact of the activities on our economy is huge, and we can't allow them to bring the country to its knees, adding that the NNPC is not helpless as it is determined to address the menace. Group Managing Director of NNPC Limited, Malam Mele Kyari, yesterday disclosed that the country was losing almost 240,000 barrels of crude oil worth about $1.5 billion to vandals and oil thieves daily. Kyari, who spoke at an interactive session with members of the House Committee on Petroleum Resources Upstream, also said the activities of pipeline vandals and oil thieves has substantially decreased Nigeria's oil production to about 1.49 million barrels per day, while assuring that the NNPC, in conjunction with security agencies and other industry stakeholders, are working round the clock to restore production. Kyari expressed the hope that within the next 2 months, NNPC will be able to restore production to a substantial level. Zambia has converted its Tazama crude oil pipeline for the transportation of refined fuel products from the Tanzanian port of Dar es Salaam to the landlocked country's copper mining region in order to ease erratic fuel shortages, its finance minister said on Thursday. The conversion of the 1,060-mile pipeline, also known as Tanzania-Zambia crude oil pipeline, is expected to be completed by June this year. This will reduce the transport cost of fuel, the minister said in a speech to the parliament. The pipeline was built in the late 1960s and has been transporting crude oil for refining at the 40,000 barrels a day. Oil giant Shell has confirmed it will take a hit of up to $5 billion from offloading its Russian assets as part of plans to withdraw from the country. Shell was criticized when it bought Russian crude oil at a cheap price shortly after the war began. In response to the outrage, the company apologized and pledged to stop buying oil from Russia. Shell has not renewed longer-term contracts for Russian oil and will only do so under explicit government direction, but we are legally obliged to take delivery of crude, but under contracts that were signed before the invasion, the company said, pointing out that the state of global oil markets remain volatile. The interest rate forbearance given to individuals and businesses seeking loan from the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) has been extended by the financial regulator the second time in a row. Reports had previously shown that the CBN had cut its loan interest rate down to 5% from 9% after the COVID-19 outbreak in 2020, which affected the earnings and liquidity of businesses in Nigeria. The reduction was made to boost the capital position of the private sector in a bid to support the gross domestic product and prevent the economy from a decline due to COVID-19 shock to global trade. It was gathered that the reduced interest rate was meant to return to 9% by March 2021, but it was extended for another year in a recent circular to banks. The 5% rate is expected to continue for one more year. This means banks offering CBN credit facilities to Nigerians have been prevented from servicing the Apex Bank's loan by 9% in the next 12 months. Coming at a time non-performing loans ratio (NPLs) dropped from 4.9% reported in December 2021 to 4.84% in February 2022. Before we end the news, here's a recap of our headlines. Ajib gas pipeline vandalized again in Bayelsa. NNPC advocates for special courts to prosecute oil thieves and pipeline vandals. Nigeria loses 240,000 barrels per day daily to vandals, thieves, says Kyari. And that's the news. I am Naomi Olewibe. Good evening.